So what we're going to be reviewing today is Samsung's 50-inch class Q80D, QLED 4K Smart TV. Out of the box, you'll get a remote, you'll get the plug, and this beautiful, crisp 50-inch television. So the first thing that I noticed was that the frame around the TV literally almost seems frameless. It's actually visually stunning. A nice big piece of glass on the wall, and coming from a television set that was nearly 10 years old, I'm quite pleased with it. The one drawback, as you can see, is by my window. It definitely picks up on glare, which is not a big deal at night because I don't really spend the day in the bedroom anyway. This is my bedroom. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about was the remote. It's really cool. On the bottom, you probably can't see it, but there's a little slot right here for you to plug in and actually charge the remote. Cooler than that, though, is that you literally can charge it in the sun. So it's what I do during the day, just leave it by the window. Now, what I particularly enjoy is it boasts that it's 3D-like scenes, and honestly, I can say that it's definitely there. Samsung is not exaggerating on that. The clarity is so clear. You know, in 4K resolution, I guess you wouldn't expect anything less. But I was pretty blown away by it. I'm seeing actors and actresses, those small details like flaws in their skin that normally you wouldn't catch on any other television, at least not one I've ever owned. Just to sum up the clarity on that, it's probably the clearest and most visually stunning television that I personally have ever owned. Yeah, I'm definitely not disappointed about that. The brightness also will adjust automatically to the room setting. Personally, I haven't really noticed that happening. Maybe it happens on a gradual, level or what, but I haven't really noticed. So yeah. They talk about a speedy processor, a motion accelerator, 120 hertz too. Personally, I don't know what that means. I'm coming from a television that's 10 years old, so this was quite the upgrade as far as speed. It's definitely speedy. You can get through your apps all quickly and efficiently. One thing I did notice, it does boast about speed, is that sometimes it will pause. So I don't know if I'm just scrolling too quickly or what, but for something that boasts of this speedy motion accelerator, that was a bit of a letdown. It has happened a few times, but again, I don't know if that's a Samsung issue or just the particular app that I was actually using when scrolling through. So that's just to be noted. So I did get this TV. I wanted to point out through the Insiders program. It is they call it, I guess, a gift, but I did have to pay for it. It was not free. It was a discount, so you will be hearing about my cons, so that way, I feel like paying for it. When you have to pay for it, you're definitely going to get an honest review versus this wasn't free. So the one issue that I did have is that I use a Fire Cube. Now, the TV already has built-in Alexa, so you don't really need a Fire Cube, but unfortunately I do. I use the Fire Cube so I can hook up my Echo Studio and the subwoofer. So I have 2 studios and a subwoofer. In order for the Samsung TV to recognize that, it has to be hooked up through the Fire Cube. So the Fire Cube then has to get hooked up through an HDMI port onto the Samsung TV. Now there are 4 HDMI ports, so that all worked out wonderfully. Issue I had, however, was sometimes there was connectivity issues where all of a sudden the TV would drop the fact that the Alexa studios and the subwoofer were even connected. So that became an issue. The other issue is when it didn't drop the signal or disconnect from it, if it stood connected overnight, the studio would suddenly randomly start playing like audio from the television. Oh, haven't quite figured that out. I'm thinking it's more or less a compatibility issue on the Alexa devices side versus the Samsungs, because everything on the TV works pretty flawlessly. So one thing I wanted to point out that I really loved was the darker details in the dark. On my old TV, if there was a scene that contained like something black, it would kind of just mute out whatever the scene was even playing. I didn't even know. I just relied on listening to what was happening to really, understand. With this TV, I can actually see things. So when it's a dark scene, I can actually see what's going on in the dark scene flawlessly. So it's a beautiful television. It does not include a wall mount. You're going to have to get that yourself. Samsung does provide wall mount services, but you can just get yourself a universal wall mount and hook it up yourself. Universal wall mount, it'll work just fine. So this one I got for $20. The TV is incredibly lightweight, so putting it up was fairly easy. However, I suggest that you have someone to help you just to keep a steady hand. It is a little wide, so you're going to want, 2 people to put this thing up on your wall if you're wall mounting it. If you're not wall mounting it, it does come with a really, really nice heavy-duty, TV stand. So keep that in mind if you just wanted to put it on your table or console or wherever you're going to put it. But we went with the wall mount. So that about sums it up. No huge issues for me. No major hiccups except for the few little ones that I talked about. Definitely not a deal breaker. So yeah, anyone looking to purchase this, I think that you're going to be incredibly happy with the quality. The sound the TV delivers is also, I forgot to discuss that. The sound the TV delivers is wonderful. However, I do like to have surround sound, so that's the next hurdle for me. I'm going to go with the Samsung, a sound bar. So that's it in a nutshell. Bye.